welcome to the Heads Up Poker podcast. This is Steve Barton.
This is Mike Sneideman.
And I have Mr. Kicks, the Poker Cat, on the desk with me here. He's sleeping, as usual. He's not eating, so he's sleeping.
I'm out of here.
How you been, man?
In the words, Mr. Kicks put me on tilt here. Thank you, Steve. I've always wanted to be on this podcast. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. We saw your first video. It came out. If you guys haven't been to the website and checked it out, go to headsuppoker.poker and click on the videos section, and it'll be right there. Mike's been hard at work putting out, what are you calling it? Poker Pro Year 1?
I believe, yes. Poker Pro Year 1.
Okay.
So, anyways, I guess it's somewhat congruent to what we set out to do with this podcast. Tell it like it is.
Yep.
Although, like I told you, I think I've spoken about my artistic efforts, ambitions, failures in the past year. Tried working on a novel and creative writing, a few screenplays, taking acting classes, and I got a nice camera myself, and I was always had a web series before, which didn't really work out. And so anyways, I was always looking for something new here. And so alas, this is going to be it. I decided Carbon Poker started getting a little money from the online poker sites, and I decided I was going to take $5,000 out and give a gift to myself. The creative venture here. This was going to be just for my own kind of entertainment, but Steve, naturally, you and my brother are the most commercial minds that I know, and you guys both say, hey, I might actually have something here. So
yeah.
Down the line, if I were to actually making these, I would need some sort of financial support because I went to Craigslist and I hired a professional videographer. I pay him like $30 an hour plus expenses, basically $35 an hour. So making this first episode wasn't that cheap. It was probably $1,400 to make it.
Yeah.
So I can make maybe a couple more. And after that, then I don't know if this can be monetized or not. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, before we give any spoilers, we'll give you guys a few seconds here to pause and then go and watch the video and then come back. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's too late. All right, so when you start out the video...
If anyone is listening to this for like reading War and Peace, tell them to put it down. This is some real artistry here.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. This video... The word epic now has new meaning.
Yes.
It's obliterated and eviscerated, further form of understanding of what that constitutes. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
when you start out, the shot with the drone is freaking awesome. And then when you end it with the drone of you and Jonah playing basketball, I don't know how long that took, but that was really cool. Like, I thought the ending shot with the drone right there was probably, at least as far as the video aspect of it, that was the best. It was like, I could just picture that little helicopter drone flying around taking that shot. When you take the shot and you can see the ball going through the basket right there, that was really cool. But I like the whole idea of it. I mean, there's so much poker content out there as far as video is concerned when it just comes to playing cards. But there's nothing really behind the scenes. There's nothing out there about a poker player's life, entertainment-wise. I mean, ESPN does a real small fraction of that when they pull away from the table and they talk to the player. How did they get here? They talk to them for 30 seconds, and then they go back to the table. But there's nothing like a reality show about poker. I think you can really have a monopoly on this.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what I have yet, pretty much. I'm getting some good feedback from some people and some good feedback with an asterisk with some critical comments of, this is what you really should be doing kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, so I got to decide the sort of direction of if you want to go back to the beginning just a little bit. Yeah, in terms of the aerial shots, that what got me, by the way, for Craigslist. Of course, this is Southern California where there's so many people trying to be movie makers and all that. So it was almost depressing how many people responded to this ad. I want to say like 100 people.
Oh, wow.
And I decided I wanted someone to like live in Oceanside or someone nearby. So that's what I kind of really focused on, people who are close by. Just for if I want to shoot for 2 hours, somebody's doesn't have to drive down from LA or wherever, or even up from downtown San Diego. So I decided to focus on like 5 or 6 guys. And this one guy's Vimeo, James, who did the filming, showed the shots of the aerial camera, a few aerial shots. I said, "Do you own one of those things?" He's like, "Yes, I do." I'm like, "Okay, sweet."
Yeah.
Which really shouldn't be necessary for a document, but it definitely adds something to it. It gives the whole thing right away. You get some sense of professionalism. And
yes. Yeah. That's the first thing Alejandra said. She's like, wow, did he do this or did he hire somebody? This looks professional.
Yeah. And just in terms of this guy's definitely worth his Me and him interacting is kind of funny. Well, if you saw, did you see the second re-edit? I did the first episode, it was like 7 minutes, then I re-edited.
Yeah, you're like, she was digging me, right? Were you getting that? Yeah.
Directly. He's this like...
She was like a 10, wasn't she? She was like an 8.
So
okay.
Yeah, my sister was kind of getting into it. She's like, I know you didn't do the editing. I said, well, I knew exactly what I want to do, drag this picture, do that. I had detailed notes. I said, but he's pretty amazing with that software, so he got it all done pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to decide originally. Like I said, we had Clayton on. He's like, I want to do my dream project would be a reality show about poker. And I'm like, me and you've had this discussion, on air and off about how this show should really be about people at the bottom end of the poker spectrum, just how to make it, how to survive.
Yeah.
So originally this project was going to be like poker. Let me get some poker players and, I'll be one of them. But you realize it's just like 6 guys, hey guys, let's go out for a drink. What time does Tony want to go? Somebody's got to just say, I'll meet you guys at 9:00 here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I wanted Carlos, obviously. He's a more interesting dudes I know for sure. And of course, Carlos lives across the country, so you can't expect him to be working to get this together somehow. And, this kid, Danny, I know, I told him about it. Oh man, it sounds great. Let me know. And I kind of told him that I was putting money up, wanting to see if he'd put up 1,000 too. He didn't really respond to that.
That's where he drew the line.
Clayton was a little bit the same thing, maybe. Although he seemed interested, so I don't know.
Maybe once he sees this video, then that'll kind of pique his interest,
Or he'll just be embarrassed that he knows me. But basically, originally it was going to be, okay, let's show, like, people playing poker, different personalities intersecting. And that's still kind of what it is, but now it's like, okay, this is about my life. And it's got to be personal. Especially if I'm fucking taking $5,000 out, I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm paying for it. So I think this is still about the poker thing, but it's got to have, it's obviously now about a character, a personality here, who is myself, which is, we'll have to decide what the focus is going forward here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's exciting, man. I'm stoked. What's your plans for episode 2 and 3?
Well, we'll see. Well, if we wanted to step back and just, it's kind of fun. Like, my plan for it was like, okay, I originally listed in Craigslist like $20 an hour, and my plan was just to have someone follow me and everyone I knew around for like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like just not how it's done. Just from speaking to people, right away, I got to say, right away I knew that it had to be organized, like locations. So when you say planning stories, it feels kind of dirty because it's like, wait a second, this isn't natural. You're setting up certain stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how it's done. Like I said, Carlos is going to fly into town, so it'll be like a Carlos episode.
Yeah.
And then you're going to come down, and there's going to be a Steve episode.
Yes. Yeah.
And then...
have you already started writing for those?
Well, they're not really... I don't know if it's really writing. I mean, for you coming down, like you helping me with women would be like an obvious possibility. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You and I just go to the beach or the public park, and you give me like advice. And but it could be anything. Like, Carlos coming to town. I said, Carlos, I think me and you should go to the zoo. And he's talking about the stories. Like, why would I? He's like, man, I don't get it. We're talking about poker, and then all of a sudden we're at the zoo. Like, you're talking about poker, and then you're at the chiropractic office. Why would I go to the zoo? I said, well, normal fucking people, when they go to a city they've never been to, actually they don't just sit in their fucking van and play poker.
Yeah, they go to the zoo or go to the museum or something, yeah.
Visually interesting.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm like trying to explain. So, it'll be a documentary. I mean, if you and I, we're not going to plan out, what we talk about kind of shit, but it's going to be kind of like, okay, Steve, I need you here Monday for 8 hours. We're going to hang out at my place. Then we're going to go to lunch for 3 hours. And then we're going to go to, beach. So yeah, we would talk about it like a screenplay. Well, what'll be the best place to go and that sort of thing. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, definitely the process is fun. Yeah, we'll see. Just dealing with what challenges lay ahead. If I have the inner strength and fortitude to see this through, because usually the first thing goes wrong and I'm throwing the towel.
You're ready
I could be fucking in my room playing with sock puppets right now. Why am I?
I know we've talked probably once every 3 days or so for the last few weeks, and every day it just seems like the sky could be falling, and then the next day you're like, oh, this is great, and then the next day, but it's got to be stressful coordinating all that.
With manic depressive personalities, it's not pleasant. Yeah, I just want to prepare for it. I guess you never should prepare for something to fail. But
I got to tell you, man, I'm really impressed with how professional it looks, and just like, I didn't know you had it in you. I knew you're entertaining on a podcast, but when it came to like video stuff, I didn't know. It's pretty cool.
Well, I watched a lot of movies, so just in terms of like, I don't know.
Well, dude, I've watched a shit ton of movies too, but I couldn't make a video like that.
Well, just doing something like it, just in terms of like this guy was pretty impressed. I got to say, like I was on fire in the editing. No, bring this sound in a little bit, and no, get that shot a half-second light. So I was very particular about what I do, and he was like, "Man, this is exciting for him." So that
cool.
good. And it's even funny. My last web series, which was just really wasn't much, and that was the joke. It's like, Mike, great editing again. Your acting is just awful, but everybody was like, Mike's a really good editor if they ever need somebody, So whatever damn ugly footage I had, it was always kind of presented in a sort of a semi-professional manner. But yeah, we'll see. I'm giving it another go. The last time I did something like this, like I said never. I can't remember if I've told these stories here. I had the podcast. I wrote the screenplay, Women and Other Pre-Apocalyptic Distractions, absurdist comedy, obviously. But I got it in the hands of a couple of literary agents. And one of them was like, oh, my God, this is brilliant. I was laughing. He's like, who would I sell this to? It's just weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe as a stage play, as a monologue, or as a novel or something. So she's like, give me something. So I decided to make it a web series. And I got the local newspaper to do a huge article about it.
Oh, cool.
Like a huge spread and get it, then I had to read for actors. Not a lot of actors showed up. And right away, it was just dealing with horrible personalities from the beginning. Something about this world. I guess I want to call it the entertainment world, but everybody thinks they're a star.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And maybe I just seem like so anyway, just some of the... Anyways, I had this one scene with a child actor, and this woman, she shows up at my place, and she had, like, rewritten some dialogue. My daughter doesn't talk like that. She was already just... I looked at her face, and I already knew she was crazy. I won't explain the whole joke, but, like, some actors had read this, and I said, this is the funniest thing ever. It's about this 8-year-old girl who'd written a book called Suck on This, The Wonderful World of Popsicles.
Okay.
And my main character, who's sort of this fired mailman, he wants to be a writer. So the joke is there's this writer group and there's this girl. And she's like, she finally understood maybe if the girl was 13 and had a couple curves, it would be creepy as hell. But it's a little girl who, is nothing. A long story short, I wake up at 5 the next morning with like a letter from this woman's lawyer. Erase all this child pornography you've done. And it was unbelievable. Then there's this other guy. I think I gave his name before. Ken Graff. If anyone in Newtown, Connecticut sees him and just wants to let him know what a fucking douchebag he is. Another person, you look at his face, you see how the Holocaust happened. The very first day, like professional, he was like, no, he's telling me where to put the camera. Like right away, I know exactly where the cameras needs to be and stuff. So the very first time, we have a guy I know says, oh, I got something for you. And he brought his camera was shit. He had to use my camera. He barely could take the fucking lens cap off. But anyways, the second production meeting, at a production meeting, it was just funny. His face was just rage with, I was like, well, I'm hoping to shoot every Tuesday. Well, you can't because I'm a schedule. Nobody here's getting paid. And then I'm talking about, I want to have some cinematic elements. He's like, well, it's not cinematic if you don't have professional lighting. And I'm like, well, when I mean cinematic, I just mean the camera's not stationary like in a sitcom. Move it around and do some stuff with it. So basically, this guy was just like one of those things where I think I'm winning by not getting angry at him, where he's obviously just hates me and everybody sees this. But his goal was to ruin the production meeting, and it was a total success. Because over an hour, I could do nothing but then just stop him from yelling. And it bothers me the main reason I wanted to go back to Connecticut to be a mailman again was to hope I could run into this guy again.
Yeah.
But now, so that's the worst part of being in California. I would deal with 7,000 snowstorms just to see this guy again. Why am I talking like this, Steve? I don't know. But anyways, I'm waiting for this kind of person to come along here. You know what I mean? Whose goal is, it's funny, I saw some other. So basically, like working with you and Carlos and stuff and that sort of thing. But I'm waiting for this has to be something more. I can see it being unpleasant somehow. I don't know. But whatever. So what else? You're impressed by the overall just professional look and feel of it?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. It was funny. There's that one clip about Chucky that was in the first one. Right. You got to put that in the second one or something because that was fucking cool.
It's funny how I'm influenced by because it's funny. Like Carlos is someone who I respect. He's one, so he's like, what the hell's Chucky doing? Get that out of there. Then I asked my brother, it's like, Chucky, he's like, well, it's long. And then I just talked to my friend from college tonight. He's like, the fucking Chucky thing, man. He's like, I can't believe you didn't even think of taking that out. That was the funniest thing. So he's not interested in me talking about poker economics, and he knows me.
Yeah.
So, Chucky will have to return some way.
I think he will. You can probably cut it down just a little bit. Maybe it was a minute and a half. Maybe you can make it like a minute or a minute 15.
Well, it was like 4 minutes.
Oh, it was 4 minutes? Oh, wow. Okay.
No, maybe 2 minutes. But the funny thing is my buddy appreciated why it had to be long. At the casino once I made a joke. I'm like, I said something I thought was funny. No one laughed. I said, I thought my humor was universal. And somebody was like, well, what universe is that? So when I explain the joke, doesn't mean that it's brilliantly funny or over people's head. It's just that, a lot of people don't get it. But my buddy was like, we're on the same wavelength, because the fact that it takes a while to explain is kind of like part of the joke, that I'm taking the matter so seriously.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, like he caught this. I'm surprised no one, he's like, when I said the Sentient Being Act, I don't know if you remember that. So that, like, it's not just Chucky runs for president. I take the matter totally seriously. What, dolls can't run for president? What should we do? So there's like congressional wrangling. You can kind of hear it. And then so there's a bill passed where dolls and probably some animals are allowed to vote now.
Yeah. Yes.
So just some of the fact that I say Chucky is lonely. Like, I take Chucky's emotional life totally seriously here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a killer doll, yes. We have to have a psychological reality there. So that might be, and so it's kind of interesting. My brother's like, there's a couple of the Chucky things he really liked, but just leave 27.
Yeah, like when him and and the other guy lock eyes and they have this moment.
That's my brother liked the George Bush joke, and yes, him and Doodleshank had their moment.
Yes, Doodleshank.
When they each have a blade towards each other's face. I'm glad someone. Now I'm pissed I took that out.
Oh, it can return. Bring it back for episode 2. I kind of like your idea of just having some ridiculous freaking movie idea in each clip. Just like a little 2-minute thing of like, okay, this is the next movie idea I got.
I put a lot of time into that screenplay.
It was a real one?
Yes, it's not a ridiculous movie idea.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's even better.
So it is kind of, we'll have to see what, because this isn't a criticism of Carlos, but it is kind of like, he's like, I thought this was about poker. This is just about you. And I'm trying to explain, well, because I've written a bunch of screenplays and stuff in the back, and I've had buddies read it. Like, but, dude, why don't you just put a camera on yourself? You're much weirder than anything you're going to come up with in a screenplay.
Yeah.
So basically, that's, just to show, like, every woman's story I told is true. And I've got 1,000 more of them, you know what I mean? So, but there is, the poker just all of a sudden hits the wall and stops, and then it's like 4 minutes, okay, this is what Mike's about. So Carlos is like, what the heck is that? And then Kev Math, who's very big in the poker world, very active on Twitter, saw it, and he's like, what's all this walking around Walmart stuff? To me, just in terms of my own personal interest in the story, what can I say? I'm going to have more fun, like, talking about and editing Chucky stuff than I am describing hands online.
Yeah.
But, poker, it's not like one of these reality shows like the Gold Rush, where it's like, how do you get gold out of the ground? First of all, we can't even step foot in casinos.
Yeah.
They don't want cameras in there with people who've lied to their wives of where they are and all that kind of stuff. And second of all, even if you could, I don't know if it's, that interesting. The main event is great television just because there's $8.5 million involved. But other than that, no one watches television poker other than. So, we'll see as I go along. I want to definitely like where I'm at in poker and then definitely, so I'm explaining to Carlos, if we talk about bank control, bankroll management, it's going to be because I'm going to be playing in a 10K. You're going to be like, what kind of a effing idiot are you?
Yeah.
It's going to be people interacting, talking about, poker stuff kind of thing. But basically if you reach the first episode, you see what I'm getting at. And it just seemed like a perfect time to start too, because I did just fill out the paperwork to officially leave the post office. So it starts off with day one. That is day one where I'm no longer part of that. Although I haven't worked for the post office for a while. Everyone knows who listens to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know what I have. Because originally I'm like, okay, poker documentary. And then I'm like, okay, this is about the world of poker, 4 different poker pros. And then I'm like, okay, let's just face it. Me trying to be a pro, and now this is me trying to be a pro, but it's more like, okay, this hopefully somewhat interesting dude trying to be a pro. So,
yeah. Because
whether it's talking about Chucky or women, it's going to be, if someone doesn't know me, it's going to be like, how the fuck this guy even play cards? It doesn't look like he could even, he could manage a checking account. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I think we were talking about this earlier. I think this could be like, maybe this will take off on YouTube and you'll get your own YouTube channel with a, once you get so many people that watch your video, then it starts getting advertisements in it and you can get money that way. Maybe somebody will pick it up for late night program on TV. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe nothing will come of it and it'll just be a fun project that you did for a month or two and that we all had fun with. And that was it. Who knows?
Well, but at the very I'm having so much fun doing this. Like, there's definitely going to be another project down the road. Whether it's this or I pull off some of my dusty screenplays and rewrite them. And like, I want to make a movie now. I'm having so much fun doing this. Yeah. I mean, I need another source of income here beyond even a creative outlet. It would be smart if I could get something going,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Merv, who listens to the show, said, why don't you try Kickstarter? I mean, I know what it is. I never tried it.
What's Kickstarter?
It's a site if you're trying to get other people to invest in your creative ideas or whatever ideas. So a lot of like people will do like a short film. I want to make this a feature. Somebody want to give me money.
Ah, okay.
So, but even that is like, entails financial agreements and all that sort of thing. Like,
no, you can try it. It can't hurt.
Like, I wouldn't know how this worked. Yeah, another reason I just stepped out is like, do I really want to even bug Danny or Clayton or someone else to put money for this? Because then we have to sit down and write an agreement with people I don't know well, and this could be acrimonious. It's just like, okay, screw it. I'll pay for it. It's my project. I'll take the losses and I'll take the...
Yeah, you just make it and see what comes of it,
Yeah, Steve, I mean, as we've discussed, I live life like 6 minutes ahead of time and in like small chunks. Sort of like, okay, let's not put my hand on a hot stove today. I mean, that's like as far as my planning goes.
Yeah.
No, but I think there's some possibilities here. We'll see. I think I definitely could have a few people. Like I said, it was over the long run. The funny thing when I originally said 5,000 for this, but since in the last 3 weeks, a couple round more bills have come. I'm like, this is kind of a lot of money to spend on this.
Yeah.
But like I said, I definitely want to do a couple more episodes. But going down the line, I mean, I could almost do it for free. But even if I could, let's just say I would always have it down to a science where I could always do this in like 25 hours.
Okay.
Like 8 hours of shooting and then 17 hours to edit and download it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if I do the math, okay, if I pay this guy $35 an hour or something, okay, I could do an episode for like $900. So yeah, but I got to give myself a little bit. I got to give myself $10 an hour or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How would you make money off it though? Like have somebody sponsor it or like on a YouTube channel or what do you mean?
I'm talking about I would need someone to give me money just to make episode 4.
Ah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just to keep it going because I'm not going to just start reaching in my pocket hoping YouTube advertisements come in. I mean, I could look into that because for all I know, I could get that kind of stuff right away and then just.
You could. I mean, like I hired a marketer, and you could do the same.
Right. I think the first episode is pretty damn good. I think I want to give it a. I don't know what grade I would give it a B. I kind of want to put out like an A episode before I go looking. But I mean, I guess it makes sense to just right away jump on it and just see if we can get some people interested. Yeah,
make these 3 episodes. It'll be like a 3-episode pilot package. Each one's 15 minutes, and see what you can get from it. See if it takes off on YouTube. We're definitely throwing it up on the website, and people that listen to the podcast will see it and tell their friends, and see where it goes. See where it goes.
Steve. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah.
So what?
Yeah. Well, thank Tony. He's the one that's doing it. I just asked him if he could, and he said he could. So he's the brains behind the operation when it comes to the technical aspect.
So what would you, honestly, in this episode, what would you want more or less of in the future? Like, what were the parts is like, it sounds like you were just impressed with the fact, you thought I was just sitting in my room picking my nose with a video camera. You didn't realize that I had gotten a professional looking shit done. So
yeah, that was really good. The professional aspect with the drone, that was cool. The Chucky part, which I know is probably coming back later, I like that a lot. You just seemed really natural. And I know you said some parts you do kind of have to not script out, but you have to have at least a game plan going in when the camera starts rolling. But it just looked very natural, and you just looked like you were being yourself. If I could offer one suggestion, though, it would be if you wear a hoodie, don't wear it over your head the whole time. It's almost kind of like you're covering up.
Well, I am. I got so fat that I'm...
Is that what it is? You're self-conscious?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I joke around that throughout. I mean, there's like certain jokes, like I had it because I'm talking to the Simone guy, and by the way, he weighs about 300 pounds, so I look like I look like a freaking triathlete next to him. But I'm joking. I said, homie, after I looked at the first video, why didn't you tell me how fat I am? And then I have like close-ups of me eating a burrito and a cheeseburger. I thought the hoodie I looked at myself like in the camera, and I'm like, well, I really look like a middle-aged dude who's trying to be young, which is kind of sort of what this is. Like, I'm getting to living a second childhood. I'm quitting to play a game, running away. So I don't know, for whatever reason to describe it. I kind of like it.
Okay.
But, not that I will not listen to the criticism, Steve, but it captures my, well, that's what I look like a lot anyways, playing poker, but.
Okay. Okay.
Something to consider there for the future.
I picture you more as the backwards hat kind of guy.
Well, I do that a lot too. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Either way, I look like an old dude who's trying desperately to hang on to his youth somehow.
I think we all are. I've gained some weight recently, especially after the first year of marriage. That I was doing what's that program? Insanity. I was doing it at work the other day, and we have it's kind of like a small gym where we have the big mirrors up on the wall. And that program, I don't know if you've ever done it. It's tougher than P90X. It's a pretty brutal workout program. And about halfway through, my shirt is just covered in sweat. And I'm like, oh, I got to take this thing off. So I took it off, and I'm doing the exercise, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. I got to put the shirt back on. This is not attractive. Oh, man.
No, I've got, the one guy, Danny, I've been trying to get in this. He's like, I got a new movie idea, man. How about how to put 100 pounds on in 1 year? He couldn't believe how I have put on probably 25 pounds in the last year and a half since moving to California.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, none of that is... So, yeah, I'd like to think...
It's not exactly all muscle.
Will inspire me on that level. I think I know what I want, what I'm going for here. But it is kind of interesting how there's little... If the goal is to show how tough it is to be a poker pro, then what I'm setting up here is kind of... I'm going to be a guy who kind of enjoys life anyways, to a certain extent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dramatically, for someone watching this, there doesn't seem to be a hell of a lot at stake. I can talk about, going to work at Walmart, but I look like a guy who'd be happy at Walmart, maybe, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, we were talking about I should get, a real fucking hardcore degenerate, had his fucking 9 of his teeth kicked in after he failed to pay someone back because he was, was playing high-stakes poker kind of shit. But, I don't know. So, yeah, I guess this would become almost a philosophical discussion if I want to decide which tone I want. Because there's a part of me that's the actor here is kind of half already subverting the material here by talking how tough it is, but then, impishly moving around and joking around. So
yeah, well, I'm looking forward to coming down. That's going to be fun.
The people who I want to like it, like you and my buddy John I just talked to, he loved it. He couldn't even I don't know. It's funny how he really gets me. The chiropractic office, Carlos is like, well, that's got to go. You don't even explain it. My brother's kind of like, well, I understand why it's there if you don't. John sort of knew what I was going for, which is okay, I'm talking about poker, I'm excited. Then I'm like, for all we know, I could be half a cripple. I'm moving around slowly on a doctor's table, they're moving, my neck's cracked, and all of a sudden, I'm back talking about poker, I'm happy again. So it's I don't know, I'm someone who's too silly to even the physical pain is oblivious to me.
Yeah.
As I'm playing poker, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I didn't think the chiropractor was bad. I would have just cut it down to about 15 seconds. Come in where you lay down, and then where he pops your pelvis, and then where he snaps your neck. Right. I mean, it's almost tough to watch the way he snaps your neck, and then you're out again talking about poker.
Yeah, no, it needs to. There's certain me and that was the only time we weren't really arguing over the editing. Because I don't know, just in terms of rhythm, because the whole section where I'm talking about women, the editing thing is really fascinating. How you can just move the little things around and change the color of the sky or something, and it changes the whole mood kind of shit,
Huh, interesting.
But, because the Final Cut Pro, you can do all sorts of touching up to the video where it gives a cinematic color, a lushness that, if you just look at the basketball we're playing, it's like a hot red, something that fell off planet Neptune or something. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's the one scene where I'm talking about women and then mixed in with the love song where I'm driving in the car. And at the end of it, it's I wanted to pause where I'm at the beach. So people are okay, thank God that's finally over. We don't have to hear about talking about women. And then I slowly look at the neck at the women, and I look back again, and again, I'm still talking about women, Ooh, some drastic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to alter it to have some more dead space there, afterwards, where I'm 6 seconds of silence where to the audience it would just be weird, but to me it's funny. It's making a commentary, I guess, on the thing. But it's okay, let's go back to something trivial. Anyways, regarding poker, I don't know. Like I said, it's a great time, and like I said, we got some personalities here to have me interact with. You and I together should be.
Yes.
I don't know,
Carlos.
Should we have like you said, I kind of recoil from the word story just because I want this to be life lived, but just the fact that you'd be coming down just to shoot this, let's be honest. Like, yeah, let's come up with a story here. I really wish if you'd come with a plane.
You know, I was talking to Alejandra about that, and she's like, "Oh, that would be badass if you flew into San Diego." And then I'm sure we'd probably get that on camera
There's
too.
a little airfield just like a mile up. Well, it'd be funny too if it's like, yeah, like the inside of my car. I am kind of a slob. So
would you go flying?
I'm sorry.
Would you go flying?
No, afraid of heights. I've never got one of those little puddle jumpers.
That might make it even more interesting.
No, I wouldn't. I would never do that.
Not even for episode 2.
Yeah, I guess visually it'd be fun. I don't know, Steve.
We could take you, me, Carlos. What's your editor's pretty big?
He's a big dude.
No, he probably won't fit.
He's got to weigh he's got to weigh 280 or something.
Oh, no, he's way overweight. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Yes, yeah. Let's plan it, Steve. So we're just 3 pounds. That's. Oh yeah, you and Carlos can come, but tell Carlos he can't wear his big sneakers. He's got to wear sneakers. Yeah, that sounds like
Make sure you guys don't eat breakfast that day. No, we'd be way overweight if he came. But the 3 of us could go easy.
Well, again, I'm already I had already filmed me talking about you, me talking about Carlos, for people that might come in future episodes, although I did not put any of that in this episode. But if I know you and Carlos are doing, I was just talking, I said, well, okay, maybe I'll crank out a little episode 2. I can use some Chucky stuff. Then this will be me going to the LAPC. I was telling this guy, he'll interview me at IHOP wearing my tournament sunglasses and my $200 Robert Graham shirt as I'm getting ready to go to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And, we'll have me little clips of talking about Steve and Carlos. So, and a little picture of Carlos on Twitch and whatever, so we're establishing that you guys are coming to town. And then I could also, in fact, I think I'm going to a strip club after we talk tonight, Steve. But well, we showed the blotted out of Carmen. I went to go visit Carmen, and then so that could be like a story.
Is that? Yeah, she was a real stripper.
That's a real stripper, and I pixelated the screen so you can't actually see her.
Okay.
But so I'm like, I wonder if she'd want to be in this because she's, she had a modeling portfolio and was trying to do all that for years. But I think she's got a kid now. She's probably past that. But that would be funny if episode 2, I had Carmen in it. And I mean, whatever happens, it'd be great if I freaking get my tongue in her mouth. That would be fine. But most likely than not, it would not work out well. Then episode 3, it's like, well, thank God Steve's coming to town. And episode 3 begins with me sitting in my car with my neck craning up as your plane slowly descends. An angel from the sky has arrived.
Yes, take me away from these strip clubs.
All I know is I'm definitely going to have to be. That was one thing that surprised. It shouldn't surprise me because I remember if I did a little 4-minute video, I edited on iMovie in a high def. To get it to Vimeo would take 2 or 3 hours because it takes a while to download. And then this was a longer movie in higher def, and it was so. Just downloading and exporting and doing all that takes about 8 or 9 hours for this movie.
So, for the 15-minute clip.
Yeah, so I have to factor that into future expenses. So,
well, is it the kind of thing that you can click a button and then come back 8 hours later and it's done, or do you have to actively be there for the 8 hours?
You can click a button, but this guy likes to get paid for that time.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
can you learn how to do that?
No, the editing is done on his computer. I don't have that software.
Well, no. I mean, can you learn how to load it up to the website?
Well, I still couldn't. I still wouldn't be able to do that. It only can be loaded from his computer. It's on software is on his. I have all the raw footage that he puts on my computer, which I look at, and then I do the detailed, 20 seconds. Okay, I like this shot, this, that. So when we sit down to edit, it cranks at high speed. But because I asked him. I said, "Can't you just do this tonight?" He's like, "Well, I can't really do any other business than when I'm downloading."
Can't you do it at 8 o'clock at night and then it'll be done at 4 o'clock in the morning while you're sleeping? Or
well, it's kind of funny. I was already in the future working on these. In my mind, if someone gave me $1,000 to do an episode, say, "Listen, 800 of this is yours, whether it takes us 20 hours or 40 hours."
Yeah.
And, you're either going to be making $20 an hour, $40 an hour, depending on how quickly we go.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I like that because I don't want him speeding and, I want him doing his best. But, that might be a way to give him a flat wage for the time and can save me time.
Well, maybe what you can do is you can say that So if he's really charging you $30 an hour for 8 hours of throwing that up there, I mean, that's $240. Maybe you can be like, all right, how about if I give you $100 to load it up to Vimeo? You know, you can do it before you go to sleep. It should be done by the time you wake up in the morning. You're not missing any working time. On top of that, you know, you make $100 because for you to sit there and do it the whole day, it's
right.
You know.
Yeah, no, it was kind of. Yeah.
I mean, it's your first episode, so you're learning, and he is too. But that seems a little ridiculous.
I just had to, like I said, I had to just reach in my pocket and just deal with it.
Yeah.
And I told myself I'm going to have this so efficiently that in the future, if I shoot for 8 hours, that's, you know, I'll be able to edit for 12, and, you know, I'm going to have 2 episodes for the amount of time. Did 1 episode this time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, you would get the money getting spent thing this would be driving you to the edge here. I mean,
probably, yeah, I'd probably be looking down over the cliff and thinking like, well, 100 feet should do it.
I mean, I don't know, whatever. I got no respect for money anyway. So if I have it, I was going to blow it on something. But like, service,
strippers and Carmen.
When we were editing, I mean, I was already impressed by the footage, but when we were editing, and again, because I was so obsessively organized, you'd be impressed because I had sat up for 8 hours, looked at every video, broken it down. Okay, I know this shot's coming here. So we sat down, and just us two, and he's really good because some of these editing pieces, you have one piece of film, one piece of video, but with an audio from another thing, and then we have a graphic coming up, and then it's video enhanced and sound enhanced. So basically, this guy got a lot of. I'm rambling here, but yeah. So we were editing for a few hours, and we got a lot done. So like, dude, where do you want to go to lunch? Anywhere. He's like, I know this sushi place that's good, which was about like 25 minutes away. We sat there and had a nice leisurely lunch. Well, I talk about the sushi waitress there, but so basically, yeah, he got paid $60 for driving there with me and back, and had a nice $100 lunch there. These are all the little things. But we've already discussed. If I was someone who knew how to iron a shirt, just was able to wash my own apartments rather than clean my own apartments rather than a cleaning lady, that's probably like $250,000 over the last 25 years.
Yeah, that's a condo, at least, yeah.
But so I'm not real smart with money. But some of this stuff I'm sure will drive me crazy. But hopefully, I want to keep this guy motivated. I mean, I probably could get a film student who's got like a bunch of toys, like access to stuff to follow me around for $15 an hour. But time is money too. So, like I said, this guy is pretty damn talented, I think. So yeah, I want to keep him happy.
Yeah, he's definitely doing good.
But yeah, like in the future, I'd like to see him. If something needs to be done, like, you know, just to test him out once. I'm like, can we get a shot of? I just want one shot of me driving to Route 5 as I head up to LA because he lives right near the 5.
Yeah.
Can you show up with your camera? When we meet outside, then just you follow me up the ramp for a half mile, you know?
Yeah.
Where, you know, he's willing to do that. Show up for 30 minutes of work and not be like, I only worked for 6 hours, man, or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see how, you know.
4 hour minimum.
How flexible he is in the future over some of these things. But, like I said, I think his job is kind of like the poker player where you get like little windfalls. Like he shot rap videos, you know, he makes $5,000 one weekend.
Okay.
And then, you know, he needs to still hustle around and get jobs like this if he wants to. There's just not enough of those jobs around. You know, you also need to, you know, work for $30 an hour for sometimes. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. Did you have any ideas for the Steve and Mike episode?
What do you think?
I want to see some of this pickup artist shit. In fact, I want to stop talking about this, Steve, and start talking about threesomes. But anyways, yeah, go ahead. We'll finish the video here first.
You know, let me think.
Do you have your wife have any friends? That could be fun. Like, Steve, I need a woman. And you come down, you guys show up with like a friend who, like, find a woman who will despise me on sight. It's still entertaining.
Let's see. I think most of them are married. Or the ones that aren't are down in Colombia.
Find a fat chick, man. I'll bang her too.
Oh God, no, Mike. We don't bang fat chicks. Someone has to be the Boy Scout, but we don't do that.
Yourself, Steve. Fucking snob. You gotta have some chubby chasers out there spreading the love around. Yeah, we'll have to come up with something. I think you just coming down. It doesn't even have to be. Like I say, it just we don't have to come up with cinematic magic here. Like, just us talking for a couple hours, I'll be able to get certainly 3 or 4 minutes of good audio there. And like I said, a lot of the people come in, not just personalities, but people have different, like me and Carlos, or hopefully we'll argue and shit at each other there, but it's also 2 different, very, very different approaches to poker here.
Yeah.
And different needs in life.
Yeah.
I just need money. You know what I mean? I need a certain level of where Carlos, like, literally has just got life stripped down to, enough gas in the tank. And of course he has his journalism and 2 other things he makes money from. You're like the same way, kind of. You've got a career, and you've got a much more mature approach to the game, much greater ability to deal with the ups and downs of the game, obviously. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited. I know the next couple episodes will be good, and I think this is something people will want more of. And then in a month, I'm going to have to brainstorm and come up with a way to keep making them, probably, because, like I said.
I do. I can't wait for the next couple of them.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hopefully. My brother's one suggestion. He's like, I love the story about Mom, but you might want to move that to the end. Because he's like, you're starting off with a story about hitting your mother, you do realize.
Yes. Well, me and Ollie laughed about that quite a bit, but we know you. Maybe they need to kind of get...
Well, it is...
I didn't think of that.
Josh, I'm setting up a future storyline. If she comes, shows up from California, like, my mother she just doesn't put up a lot of shit. Like, I mean, within like 30 seconds, like, I could orchestrate it with a camera there. So she whapping me upside the head within like 30 seconds of her getting off the plane. So I'm setting up the drama when Mom finally arrives and wants to smack some sense into me.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm looking forward to coming down and doing it. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, like I said, yeah, geez, do I want to go up in the plane with Bert? But no, I genuinely would be terrified.
Okay. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone.
Something for you, but just those little planes. Yeah, I can't even.
Okay.
I wish the only time I've seen, like, at hand for you can look at this. Someone could probably Google this. Block Island in Rhode Island had a plane crash where like 6 people died. And I was like 200 feet away from the collision.
Oh, wow.
Literally, like this. I could see the plane, and it was, we were sitting in a restaurant. Basically, some guy, whatever, screwed up riding the plane, and he hit, we were in the restaurant, and we were walking out of the restaurant in the car, and literally when we're like, just as we're pulling out, you could see I'm like, oh, Jesus. And the plane hit the gas station right behind this restaurant, and like just blew up.
Wow.
And, I forget, some poor lady pumping gas died, too, along with whoever was in the plane. And, that was the only time I've actually seen people die. So not that, I mean, I was already chicken shit before this happened, so I can't. Well, Steve, you would like this here. This is pretty cool. On Vimeo, I have this video up on YouTube, too, but I also have on Vimeo, where you can I have Vimeo Plus, because you can download more videos at a higher definition if you pay the $60 a year. Everyone's always squeezing the money out of you. But they will break it down. You can know exactly which countries are downloading your video.
Oh, that's cool.
You can actually see like a map of where your video is getting downloaded. So I thought would you like a list of the 12 countries where people have watched my...
Let's see it. Yeah.
Let's see. Australia.
Uh-huh.
Thailand.
Nice.
Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
Japan. Well, United States, Canada. Of course, Brazil.
Wow.
Ireland, United Kingdom, Sweden, Germany, Portugal, and my Romanian brothers.
Nice.
But
I bet Merv is the UK.
Well, especially when we started doing this podcast, of course, we would get excited when we get it was slowly building. We had, viewers more every week, every month kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I remember our first episode got 4 downloads, and then the second week we got like 12, and we thought we were just bawling.
Right. So anyways, I know you would get a kick out of this. I get to check and look at not just the number of downloads, but I get to look at the map each day and see if somebody has, eventually someone in Mozambique's going to stumble across this. And that's
yes. It's only a matter of time before someone in Somalia trips across your video.
You never know, Steve. You never know.
Well, I got a email if you want to do a little strategy.
Steve, I wanted some PUA stuff, but maybe next time we get on, because that deserves like a full 2 hours.
Yes. Okay.
You give me every detail. Target this woman and threesome, and I don't care. This might be the Heads Up Poker Premium membership here for this. You might have to pay extra for this. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what. Next week I'm doing Chris Wallace, and then the week after that, you and I will get on and we'll do PUA.
Okay.
Deal?
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Okay. Cool. Deal.
I got to prepare for that stuff too. I like I said, I might have to do a couple shots of whiskey ahead of time just to summon the courage to squeeze some of the details out of you.
I think I will too. I'll probably have to have a beer beforehand because I don't know that I can do it with that one.
What's the?
This is from Jason Kingston.
Stop for a second here.
What's that?
Would you ask Michelangelo, however you pronounce his name, Da Vinci, any of these guys, how to play checkers? I'm just saying you're talking to a great artist now. Why do you want to know about poker strategy? But that's okay. I still have time for that. It's fine.
Okay, good. Okay, this is from Jason. He says, hey guys, first off, I only happened to stumble on your podcast because I randomly got a follow on Twitter from Mike before the WSOP last year. Way to go, Mike. Great show. I enjoy all the interviews and strategy talk. I recently deposited on Bovada to work on my tourney game before the WSOP this summer. I usually play live and am more of a rec player that still studies and wants to improve his game. This hand is from a 550 MTT 10K starting stack. So it's a $5.50. 10K starting stack. Background of the table. I was just moved here, and this is only my second hand. I had the table covered, and we were already in the money, and I was 4 of 20 left in the tourney. Okay, so that's the background of the table. And let's see, blinds were 2,500, 5,000 with a 50 ante. Okay, so they're pretty far into it. Villain in the hand is under the gun +2 with 31 big blinds. And villain limps. So UTG +2 limps. It's folded to me in the cutoff, and I have 37 big blinds. Okay, so the effective stacks here are 31 big blinds. Hero has villain covered. And Hero has ace-king of diamonds. So, let's see. Villain limps, and Hero raises here in the cutoff to 12,500. So he raises 2.5 big blinds. The blinds fold, it's back on villain, and he calls. Okay, so what do you think of his raise size right there? If you get an under the gun +2 limp, you have no reads on anybody because this is Bovada, and this is the second hand, so you don't know who anyone is. And you get a guy that limps under the gun +2. What's your raise size going to be if you're in the cutoff with ace king?
I deal with all these damn limpers, Steve. When did this business start? Well, first of all, let's point out, I guess it's Bovada, so you don't have the stats on the guys. But like, if you knew this, just bring out the possibility of the flat. If there was a couple shut stacks of aggressive players in the blinds, that might be a good spot just to complete, not to 3-bet, not to raise, I should say.
Yeah.
So, but as raised, I'm wondering I'm thinking now, if limping is getting big, that if a lot of people are doing that to limp call to see their medium hands cheap, then maybe we should really charge them for it. Not this spot specifically, but there's a couple other spots like that I think I've thought where. So why not 4x here?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, I guess you're announcing that with a hand. Obviously, it looks super strong. Maybe you don't get him to tool out with ace-9 or whatever, but which should not be in any limping range he's constructing anyways. Yeah, I think the 2.5x is fine, but it's just kind of setting this into a general discussion. Maybe this is, if you're at a limpy table, you should actually be raising more.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. When I first saw that, I was like, minimum I would go here, I think, is 3.5. And then I think the most would probably be 4. So I guess that's not much of a range right there.
Okay,
but
so I guess.
Yeah, 3.5 for me. Like when you get if your standard raise size is 2.5x, then, if you get one limper, you need to make it even more because now the blinds are getting a better price. He's getting a great price, the limper. I mean, when you make it 2.5x there, if someone did that to me, I'm calling with just about anything, if I'm limping under there.
Some of the more sophisticated players out there, Steve, well, you're getting pretty sophisticated with the HUD. Like, there's a lot of, there's probably a math. If this is someone who calls a lot of raises but then folds easy pre-flop, post-flop, yeah, you want to get more chips in there. But if this is a guy who folds a lot to raises 3-bets, maybe you don't want to price him out of this. You want to play ace king suited with this guy in position.
Yeah.
So getting him to fold, if you knew for sure that he was going to call 2.5x or fold to 3.5, I guess you'd make it 2.5x, right? Depends what you're looking for, but
yeah, this is a $5.50 tournament, and we have one limper under the gun plus 2 that we have no reads on. Like, I would just make it bigger. I don't think there's that many, really good players playing at this level that are limping UTG plus 2. It's just not something you see very often, Charging for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, that was my initial reaction. Is I would have made it a little bigger, but
yeah. Like even you said 4x, and I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. Okay, I raised to 12,500, so 2.5x. The blinds fold and villain calls. Pot is 37,000, and the flop comes Jack 10-8 with the 10 and 8 of diamonds. So the flop is Jack 10-8, 10-8 of diamonds. Hero has ace king of diamonds, and he's in the cutoff. Villain checks to me. What are you thinking here? A pot of 37,000. We flop the nut flush draw. We flop the gut shot to the nuts. So any queen gives us the nuts.
Well, we like the flop, first of all.
Yeah.
So we're willing to get it in here if he wants to boogie.
I'm thinking the same thing. Like I'm happy going broke. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, although if it gets in, you probably, the guy's got a queen. So and probably or a jack, and probably a blocker, probably a queen or a king, a blocker to a better hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like it's a weakish villain, but who's not going to be shoving a worse draw. If it goes in on the flop. But yeah, you got the fucking flop the nuts there pretty much. So I guess the option is, well, if you're going to bet, how much do you bet? Or would you rather? Yeah, I would just bet. I don't see any reason not to.
I don't see any reason to check.
Unless, yeah.
We got to be a favorite here a lot of the time, even when he's got a pair, or I think we're a big favorite. I think we just got to bet.
Yeah, we got a great hand. Anything other than a set. And so, yeah, I'm going to bet and hope he makes a move.
Yeah.
I guess a fold is fine. There's a lot of chips out there, but this is a spot you're hoping he raises.
Yeah. Okay. Pot is 37,000. Villain checks to me, and I make it 13,555. So sizing on that. Personally, I'd go a little bit bigger. I'd go probably maybe we're splitting hairs here, but I'd probably go 18, something like that. But, maybe hopefully to get calls from, or raises from, a guy with a naked 9, that's open-ended, and then you can get it in. But I would have made it a little bit bigger. But,
yeah, this might be one of those spots where the bet size, he's calling with a pair. And he really shouldn't have that many draw. What 9 would he have in his range? 9-10. 9-10 suited and pocket 9s is about it.
Yeah, 9-10 suited, pocket 9s. Maybe Jack 9 suited. Maybe 8-9 suited.
Pocket 9s would be a very strange limp.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, basically he's either going to, if he has a pair, Jack or a 10, he's going to be calling whether you bet 13 or 18, I think, probably.
I think so.
But,
yeah, he says at that point, villain re-raises to 78,000, and he has 64,000 behind. The pot is now 128,000, and I have 159,000 behind.
So this guy raised for half his stack?
More than that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, shove it in.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking the same thing. Yeah, pre-flop, let's see. I'm ranging him to have bluffs along with jack, decent kickers, sets, and some draws. I'm not really seeing the bluffs in this. When they raise that much, he's only leaving himself, what is that, 12 big blinds? 13 big blinds? When he started with 31, I don't think he has too many bluffs in his range there. The pot, let's see, ranging him to have bluffs along with sets and some draws. Pre-flop action leads me to discount Jack-Jack and 10-10 as holdings because I think he would have raised or re-raised me pre instead of limp calling. That's probably true. You may be able to put like 5 or 10% chance that he has jacks or tens. I hold the diamond nut draw, and he could do this with queen, jack, diamond, diamond, and other straight flush draw combos. I tanked and used almost all of my time before shoving, which he then snap called. Yeah, well, Jason, I did run some of these in an equity calculator, and the range that what's that?
Congratulations on the equity calculator.
Oh, thank you.
One of us is finally taking this seriously.
Yes.
Punching keys on their keyboard like a monkey, hoping money flies out of it.
The range I gave him was, okay, what would villain limp call under the gun +2 with? Could he do that with aces? Yeah. Could he do that with kings? Yeah. Queens? Probably not, but I threw him in anyways. Jacks and tens? Probably not, but I threw him in anyways. Nines and eights would make a little bit more sense. 8-9 suited, 10-9 off, 10-9 suited, Jack-9 suited, Queen-9 suited, maybe. Maybe he flopped the nuts. Jack-10 suited, Ace-9 suited, Ace-Jack suited, Ace-Jack off, King-Jack off. These are King-Queen suited. These are the ones I threw in there. And even after running all those, you're still a favorite against that range. So you're 56 and the other guy's 43. Yeah, I think you should be more than happy to get it in with this hand in this spot, and you should be happy that he raised you. And I think more often than not, you're going to be a big favorite here. So I would go with it. It turns out, as far as results, board ran out. Board ran out with ace of clubs on the turn, jack of clubs on the river. Villain had Jack-10 and won the hand, so he flopped 2 pair. But I think the vast majority of the time you're going to be a favorite here. I would run it. I think he's going to be doing that with a lot of naked nines, pocket nines, queen jack, which you're, not bad at all against. And I would go with it. I think he played it well.
Yeah, we both would have raised a little more.
Yeah. Other than that, I think the thing kind of played itself. Yeah. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, when I plugged in on the flop of jack, 10 of diamonds, 8 of diamonds, I just gave him the jack of hearts on the flop. I put villain with jack of spades, 10 of clubs. And then I put villain with jack of diamonds, 10 of clubs. So again, hero's got ace of diamonds, king of diamonds. How much difference do you think the equity changed by giving the villain 1 diamond?
3%?
I thought it would be about that too. But it was only 0.3%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was surprising me. I thought by throwing in 1 extra diamond, that takes out a lot of our outs, and I thought that'd change it quite a bit, but it really didn't. It was 57.2% with 2 non-diamonds, and then 57.5% with 1 diamond. But anyway, just a little tidbit. I thought that was kind of neat. Yeah, I would have played it the same. I got one more hand if you're into it.
We had a good hand history review, by the way.
Oh, we did. Yes, with Doug and Carlos and you and me. That was cool.
It's taken us a year to realize to throw out some basic information out there, like studying is good.
Yeah. I know. It went over that for like 3 or 3.5 hours, but it was that was a good review. Doug's pretty smart. He is.
Yeah.
And Carlos is too.
Carlos doesn't miss much now. And Doug, immediately just breaks it down to, by the way, guys, this is a mathematical game, not a...
Yeah. That was a good session. I recorded it. I don't know how the sound came out, though. I'll see if I can throw it up on the website or not. But hopefully I can get the sound, because I can hear my voice, but I can't hear anyone else's. So I don't know if there's a way to amplify that or to make it, so because you can't hear any of the discussion. So hopefully I'll be able to get something out of that. But we'll see.
Hopefully not, Steve. I can't really have that up there.
No? Why not?
My screen name, I don't really want to.
Okay. Never mind. We won't put it up then.
They're down low here, Steve, so people don't realize the shark that's
yes.
taking over their money.
The shark that awaits them.
That would be something that's pretty good, though. If we ever did that alive. Well, I think people have done that sort of thing
on like Twitch or something.
Yeah, I think Carlos did like a live coaching session. He had somebody come in and look at some of his. I missed that one, but
cool. Well, I got one more here. It's real quick. If you got a second.
Sure.
Okay. This one we're getting shorter stacks, I guess. I've got 40 bigs, and then there's a guy under the gun. He shoves 6 big blinds. Okay, so, and then it folds to me. I'm in, let's see, button cut off. I'm in the hijack. I've got 40 bigs, and I've got pocket 8s. Okay, so guy, UTG shoves 6 bigs. We're 8-handed. I'm in the hijack with pocket 8s. I've got 40 bigs, and the stacks behind me are 25, 11, 35, and the big blind has 77 bigs.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you can. I guess the min click is kind of, you can make it 11 bigs and still fold. I'd probably just call, and then I guess you got to fold to a rejam. I don't know.
Okay.
Villain dependent. If somebody's there just a fucking lunatic. I don't think I would rejam if there was like 2 players behind me. I don't like. Was it 4 players behind you?
4 players, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely someone could have a hand there.
Yeah. Now, if you just call here, if I am in the small blind or the big blind with something like, man.
Well, you're also just calling. You're not re-raising with aces or kings. So someone
that's a good point.
Will see the call as strength. So no, there's some people who will raise you light with the dead money in there. But usually if someone, certainly if they shove, I got to think they have a good hand. But I've been in that exact same spot where you call with the pocket 8s or whatever. And I know I've played that exact same hand where somebody reshoves and I fold and they come up with like ace 7 suited or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Where they know they don't even have to be ahead of the range of the initial shover. With the dead money in, they only need 33% equity or whatever the heck it is. So it's almost plus. If they think you're going to fold wide, then raising or shoving, they can do that really wide, and your move is exploitive. But what size buy-in was this tournament?
33.
Okay. I'd be more wary about doing it in like a $200 tournament where I think there's going to be people who could raise light.
Yeah.
33, there's still some very good players in there too. So I was going to say a $5 tournament, I think I just flat. It's an easy fold if someone shoves because, my I don't know answer is the standard one here.
Okay.
Just you can't fold it. Pocket 8s is too good. That's the only thing I know adamantly. I don't know if where the shove or the call or the raise is strongest move here.
I feel like shoving is too much to shove with pocket 8s with 40 bigs.
It does. Yeah, I would say like 25 bigs or something. I'm like, okay, I'm shoving.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like thinking 20, 25. That's a pretty easy shove. But 40 just feels dirty. It feels like, You're only getting called by better, so you're just hoping at that point that no one has 9s or better,
8s is a big hand, but I don't know. And some people, of course, no, if you shove, you don't really want to get called by ace jack, but sometimes the initial shover has an ace, and some of their calling ranges, people don't have as much equity as they think they do. If somebody snaps you off with ace queen or ace king here,
Yeah.
At least 3 of their outs could be gone, or 1 of their outs could be gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's I'll be curious to know what people think of that hand or what some pros think about that hand, because that's a spot I'm sure a lot of us see.
It is, yeah. Being in this spot with like 8s or 9s is tough.
Yeah, I think there's a couple spots like this where our hand history review we did, it dealt with a lot of like 10 to 20 big blind play late in a big tourney that I had.
Yeah.
And there's spots kind of like this where someone shoves under the gun and you've got, let's say, ace 10 off in middle position. Someone shoves 9 big blinds and you've got 21 bigs. I mean, I don't remember some of the hands. And I'd say, well, we're ahead of their range. And Carlos would be like, well, yeah, that I know, but there's also 5 people behind us. Or 4
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's just as big a factor here as obviously we know we're happy with our hand against the shover, but my initial reaction was just call and then fold to a raise. So I think I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. I went for the min click. He made it 6 bigs, so I clicked it and made it 12, and then it ended up getting through, and we got heads up, but still, it felt like nothing was right here. It felt like calling was too weak, because I know for me, if I were in later position, especially in the big blind with 77 bigs, there's a lot of hands here that I'm just going to shove. And
you can't really. Problem is, so you got 12 bigs and his 6. If somebody shoves, you had 40 bigs to start the hand.
Yeah.
So you would have 52, 58, 60 big. Yeah, you'd be getting better than 2 to 1 in price. You'd have to call a reshove if you min click it. So you probably should just shove, I guess. Or maybe not, I guess.
Or just call. Yeah, just call and then you can fold. Yeah, man, I don't know.
Just call, I think you can fold to a reshove. You can't, if you raise, you can't. Unless you think just calling will induce, if there's a sputard there who's going to just go nuts with king 10 off or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Villain depend as always, but I assume you were raising and you were going to do the sigh and call if they shoved. Or were you raising with a plan that you could still fold?
At the time, I think I was raising thinking that if somebody were to shove, I guess if somebody were to shove, if only the big blind were to shove, then I could get rid of it. But now that I'm looking at it, I think you're right. I think I would be so priced in, I'd have to call.
So there'd be about 60 big blinds in there.
Yeah, I'd have to call that.
28 left. So yeah, you would only need 30% something 33% equity.
Yeah.
And if this person's shoving ace jack suited, ace queen, ace king, then there you go.
Yeah, I'm even a slight favorite. Yeah.
36 combinations you're ahead of. So yeah, you got to call.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got probably at least 40% equity against this guy's range, but I don't know. I guess if it was some villain who you have 500 hands on you, whose numbers are like, 12, 8, 3 or something like that, then you're like, maybe you find a fold. But even there, I think you got to probably only against a couple villains, maybe could I fold there.
Yeah.
Or if you were on the final table of a big tournament, maybe with some ICM considerations. I don't know. But
yeah. Yep. Out of 300 hands, he's a 14-9 3.3.
The guy who shoved the 6 bigs.
No. The big blind.
Oh, okay. The big blind. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a fold, right? I don't know. I mean, that's pretty tight, though. 14-9 3.3.
I mean, is he? What is he shoving there? Do you think he's folding ace queen?
No. 3.3.
I mean,
I don't think so. I think he's folding ace jack. I don't think he's folding ace queen. He's probably reshoving aces, kings, queens, jacks, maybe 10s. Yeah, he's probably reshoving 10s. And then he's shoving ace, queen, ace, king.
If he's folding 9s and ace, jack, and all pairs smaller than 8s, my guess is, I mean, you can crunch those numbers in. My guess is you still might have 40% equity. But it would not be I don't know. I guess you wouldn't love it against that villain, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can still fold.
I don't know. That was an awkward spot.
If you're gonna fold to a raise, I think it's just a call there.
It's just a call, yeah.
It probably looks a little stronger too, maybe, depending on game flow and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Should we wrap this up?
Sure. Anyone could please tweet at us if you have any ideas for, Stephen might go ballroom dancing. Stephen Mike ... Insert the most asinine thing we could.
Yes.
That's kind of I kind of wanted to like. I think maybe I was joking with you about this. It's like some of this reality, like when you're focusing on a personality rather than which I guess. I mean, it's all scripted to a certain extent, but like there's one like I was watching like the Kardashians. They went riverboating in the Everglades or something, like to look at alligators.
Huh.
Like this is just not something these people would be doing.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of it's Carlos like you kind of don't really have a story here. You're kind of bouncing around, and I'm like, well, that's what you do in life. I mean, which is not a really good explanation. You got to have a story. On the other hand, I don't want to be like, Steve, make sure you're wearing that red shirt as you get off and walk to here, and then we'll go to Dairy Queen and you'll order this and we'll discuss this and
That's funny. But
nothing else, Steve, it can just be like just 15 minutes of silence of us riding in a car, but we'll put some of the Thesaurus's best music over, so it's pounding, it has energy. It's pleasing to the ear. Just the two of us slowly rocking our heads,
Yeah.
I don't know, Steve, but no, I do appreciate your kind words with this. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, no, it was good. Well done. I was really pleasantly surprised. I didn't know you had that artistic eye in you. That's good. But I wanted to just throw a quick shout out to you guys and thank you guys for writing in, and thank you, Jason, for the hand this week. And we really appreciate all your tweets and retweets. And if you guys are new to the show, you can follow Mike at Mike Sneideman. Follow me at HUP Podcast. And thank you. If you can get a free MP3, it's an Elliott Rowe hypnosis tape. Just click on the link in the show notes. And you listen to that the next time before you play poker, and it'll influence you so that you don't tilt the next time you play. It's free. You got nothing to lose. And thank you guys. If you guys aren't into the hypnosis thing and you want to help out the podcast, go to iTunes and rate and review us. Just log into your iTunes account and click on the type in Heads Up Poker Podcast, and then click on the ratings and reviews tab. Write a little review. We'll read it on the podcast. And you can do the same on Stitcher. So thank you guys for tuning in. And here is your weekly motivational speech.
The warfare is in your mind. It's not in your checkbook. It's not in your savings account. It's not on your job. The fight that you got to fight is in your mind. There is always someone on your heels. There's always someone with talent. There's always someone hungry to take what you have. So where's that differentiating factor? It's within. It's in your why. If you're number one, you gotta act like you're still number two, trying to get there. These people are relentless. You are always replaceable in the office, on your roster spot. And every year, I tell you, there's always gonna be someone with more ability, with more privilege. So where's your competitive edge? It's up to you to muster it up and revisit your past where you weren't the top dog. Revisit that pain. Check yourself for that hunger and deliver it from the inside out. Outthink them, outsmart them, outwork them. I will not be outworked, period. Well, one of the things about life, you're going to get hurt. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to fail your way to success. But you got to be willing to experiment. You got to be willing to push yourself. You got to be willing to challenge yourself by putting yourself in a perpetual state of discomfort. It's time to put your best foot forward. It's not about just putting in hours. It's about what are you doing with those hours you're putting in. Stay focused in accomplishing every single goal, every single day. We're trying to reach a pinnacle point. Nobody else can give you the effort that you need. Nobody tells you when you're successful. You know when you're successful. You know if you're putting in enough time to become great. You know when you're good. And there will be times when you feel like giving up. You just got to go one more mile. You got to go one more day. And I guarantee you'll find that motivation that you need. There's something that's built on the inside of you that man cannot give you. Your life, your health, your business, the situation that you're going through, everything that you've been through. should push you to your destiny. Today is the day.